my name is Chantelle Nel, student number 204, and today I will be talking about the Union of South Africa in 1910 and heritage. If we take a look at slide number 2, we'll have a look at the definition of heritage and its importance. Heritage can be described as the tangible and intangible attributes that make up a society's history. These are usually passed down from generation to generation and can include but are not limited to monuments, buildings, statues, and artifacts. We also have some intangible, which are songs and stories that are also passed down from generation to generation and hold something special in knowing and understanding how people lived long ago. So, which leads me to my next question. Why is it important to remember a country's heritage? For the reason that it helps bring a new understanding and appreciation to a country's past. Younger generations like myself are able to understand through visual and abstract ideas what people go through or went through during difficult times and struggles. In slide number 3, we take a look at the Union of South Africa's formation and implications. As mentioned before, the Union of South Africa was formed on May 31st, 1910. This day marked the unification of the 4 British colonies, South African colonies, Southern African colonies, which included the Cape Colony, Natal, Transvaal, and the Orange River Colony. It was the foundation of white supremacy rule and what would later carry on through apartheid times. However, this was seen as a significant political time as it really brought about the unification amongst colonies which were previously separated and did not have a good standing relationship. It then later, like mentioned above, brought about segregation and discrimination amongst the white and the black, which also resulted in notable unhealthy differences in social, economic, and political views amongst the diverse nation. In slide number 4, we take a look at the representation of voices during this difficult time. The Union of South Africa was only represented by those in authority, which included the white minority. All decisions regarding events were in favor of the superior race. Although it is significant to South African history, it still raises concerns as to the voices who were not heard during this time, which included the rest of the non-white population. They remained segregated and oppressed. No power was shared amongst them. So in slide number 5, it leads us to what was the decision-making process or how it took place. Throughout history, it is seen time and time again that all important and significant decisions are made exclusively by those in powerful roles. The rest were disregarded and silenced. Leaders decided which events should stay and which events should go, and which events should be remembered and which should be discarded. When making these decisions, if we take a look today, it is important to have a look at the population as a whole, and the population should be considered as a whole. South Africa, which is a diverse population, struggles to include all people due to its significant differences such as financial, political, and logistical areas that we face. These are pulled from our past and are carried through into our present times as we make decisions. However, when considering the time the Union was formed, which is seen as the colonistic time, which later sparked apartheid, heritage decisions were focused in favor of the European and Afrikaner. The oppressed remained silenced and forgotten. In slide number 6, we talk about the marginalization of certain groups. The marginalization in the South African context is better known for keeping the basic rights from the non-white communities. These basic rights included the right for a political voice, for basic resources, and a space for living and further work opportunities. Marginalization is deeply rooted in colonialism, and apartheid. Black South Africans, indigenous peoples, and other people of color have been marginalized due to previous noted inequalities and prejudiced views. These issues continue to shape South Africa and most economic areas and are something we work on continuously to overcome. So, this leads me to my final slide, which is responding to the celebration of the Union as heritage. This is a complex question and one that cannot just be answered easily or simply. One needs to include all voices and perspectives when considering heritage. It is known as a significant political milestone in South African history. However, when putting aside the political and considering the emotional and true significance of the day, it might cause issues to arise as it marked the time when segregation policies came into play. But it can also be looked at as the day where the South Africans acknowledge how far we've come together as a nation. It helps all people understand and understand the hard past while grappling with challenges we face today. Thus, concluding the statement that the Union of South Africa should be celebrated with caution, showing respect to all who were previously oppressed, while remembering the start of what would be the formation of a country we now all get to call home. I just want to thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope it was insightful and you enjoyed all that I had to say. Thank you so much.